Hello, and welcome to County Perspective, the show that focuses on Frederick County government, local programs and events, and the community that you live in. I'm your host, Brandon Rosa, and thank you all for joining us today. A lot has been happening over the past few weeks with the annual spelling bee and the fiscal year 2023 budget. Let's dive right in today's top news stories. Frederick County Executive Jan Gardner unveiled plans for a record 9 school construction projects in the upcoming fiscal year. Her preliminary capital budget also funds 3 new library branches, the purchase of body cameras for deputies, several parks projects, fire stations, technology upgrades, roads, and construction of a new medical unit for the Adult Detention Center. School projects in the draft capital budget include construction of Waverly Elementary and Brunswick Elementary. The plan accelerates by 2 years the construction of a new Green Valley Elementary School and a new Valley Elementary School. The county's purchase of a large property on Himes Avenue eliminated the need for several other capital projects. As a result, $6.9 million in expenses were removed from the 6-year capital improvement plan. To view the full list of operating budget requests, visit frederickcountymd.gov/budget.
Gluttonous. Gluttonous. Gluttonous.
That's correct.
Aisha Hawk, a 5th grader at Centerville Elementary School, beat more than 24 fellow spellers at the annual Frederick County Spelling Bee on Saturday, March 19th. Gluttonous was the word that won the enormous trophy, ensuring her a spot at the Scripps National Spelling Bee later this year.
I'm really happy that I won because before I was really nervous that I might mess up on a word that I already knew or I might get out in an early round. But after a few rounds, I started to get the hang of being calm, so now I feel really proud of myself.
For winning first place, Hawk received a check for $1,000, a 1-year subscription to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, and other prizes. Congratulations to Aisha, Natalie, and all of the participants who represented the best spellers in Frederick County. Members of the public were invited to speak to their budget priorities for the coming fiscal year at Frederick County Executive Jan Gardner's public hearing on March 21st. The public hearing is held every budget cycle in March and is required by the county charter. County Executive Gardner is working on 2 budgets, the operating budget, which funds the day-to-day operations that the county provides, and a capital budget, which funds buildings, infrastructure, schools, and roads. If you'd like to watch the virtual budget public hearing, visit frederickcountymd.gov/FCG-TV and keep an eye out for County Executive Gardner's presentation of the final budget on April 14th. A full list of operating budget requests is available at frederickcountymd.gov/budget. The Scott Key Center has been serving individuals with disabilities in Frederick County since the 1960s. From employment to learning and engaging in exciting activities, participants enjoy coming to the Scott Key Center. Due to COVID-19, the Scott Key Center changed operations in 2020, and most of their members switched to a virtual platform. While the clients were at home, the building that houses the Scott Key Center stayed busy. First, as a storage area for personal protective equipment for our first responders, and then as a vaccination clinic. Today, our Parks and Recreation Division is utilizing space at the Scott Key Center for sports and programs. After over a year of renovations, the Scott Key Community Center is now complete. I was at the Scott Key Community Center and I had the chance to speak with Parks and Rec staff about the cool new space. Let's take a look. The Scott Key Center has been a part of Frederick County since the 1960s and became an adult developmental center in the 1970s, offering employment and services for our residents with disabilities. But recently, the Scott Key Center opened its doors to make room for Frederick County Parks and Recreation with the addition of the Scott Key Community Center.
The other half is still the Scott Key Center. Our half is called the Scott Key Community Center. It was really important to us to kind of keep that name. And especially having a partnership with Scott Key, we wanted to make sure we weren't erasing a history that was here, as this has been a really important building to so many people.
When COVID-19 made its appearance in Frederick County in 2020, the Scott Key Center utilized its free space and turned it into personal protective equipment storage. When storage was no longer needed, Parks and Recreation saw the benefit of the space for community programs and activities, but with a few renovations in mind.
We opened the facility in fall of 2021. Renovations began on the facility in fall of 2020. So it was a year-long project. After we had actually gotten approval to run the facility and create it to be a community center is when they started the vaccine clinics. So there was a period of time where we started renovations and then we had to kind of pause all renovations while the vaccine clinic was in here. During COVID, they definitely sent people home, and this definitely became more of a storage facility and a warehouse for the county's extra COVID supplies. So everything from masks and gloves to cleaning supplies, gowns. Once the Scott Key Center wasn't going to necessarily be a warehouse anymore for supplies, Parks and Rec saw a need to fill in the community and utilize that space in a different manner, and so we jumped on it. The Scott Key Center, we reached out to them and kind of talked to them about what their needs were going to look like, but essentially they weren't going to use this wing of the building. There were 3 classroom spaces. We converted the 3 classroom spaces into 1 smaller classroom and 1 bigger classroom. And then we have this gym. It was actually originally, when Scott Key first started, this was some semblance of a gym as well. So we're kind of taking it back to that. And then the front space is a lobby area, and then we have an office as well.
Now that the Scott Key Community Center is up and running, it serves as a permanent location for Parks and Recreation activities for residents of all ages, interests, and abilities.
So we're excited to be able to offer daytime programming here at Scott Key Center. So a lot of our favorite classes we're now able to offer with some daytime slots. A lot of our favorite fitness classes, such as yoga and Zumba, are here with daytime offerings as well as evening offerings. And we have a full schedule during the week for preschool enrichment opportunities.
The rec staff especially have been very vocal about kind of needing a more standalone facility. With the facilities that we do have, we don't have a lot of opportunity for daytime programming. Part of the benefit of us being here is that we are now able to serve people of all abilities and all ages here. We are working towards some programming partnerships coming up in the fall, working to offer a variety of adaptive classes that would not only cater to the general public and people with disabilities in the general community, but also the Scott Key Center.
With the collaboration between Parks and Recreation and the Scott Key Center, members of the Scott Key Center can now use the community center for some physical activity.
Starting in March, and now that the gym is done, the clients from the Scott Key Center have an open gym opportunity once a week here, specifically on Wednesdays, to kind of just come in and enjoy the gym, play basketball. We've got pickleball as well, some bocce, so they have that opportunity to really enjoy the gym space.
The opportunities and availability the Scott Key Community Center provides is something Frederick County Parks and Recreation has been looking forward to for a long time. It is safe to say that residents of Frederick County will be enjoying the Scott Key Community Center for years to come.
I do like how it turned out. Yes, it was a work in progress. It was for sure a very quick undertaking, because it was a very quick decision to acquire this facility and renovate it, and it definitely took a lot of legwork from a very large team of people, and I'm very grateful for those people. But it has worked out well, and it is exciting to see the potential that this facility has.
Well, it's time to take a break, but don't change the channel, because we have more coming up on County Perspective. Welcome back to County Perspective. I'm your host, Brandon Rosa. Coming up on our show, we'll find out about Parks and Recreation's summer employee recruitment. But before we do that, we need to see who's looking for you to take them home in this episode's Pet of the Week.
What's better than one adoring lap cat? 2. Meet Dorothy and Blanche. These senior sisters were once outside cats, but are now more than ready to spend their golden years hanging out on couches and snuggling up in nice warm beds. Both cats are confident and friendly. Although they are seniors, they still enjoy playing from time to time, but petting sessions are their favorite. These lovely ladies can be adopted individually or as a pair. Because they are older, they do have some medical issues. Both need dentals, and Blanche has hyperthyroidism. To learn more about Dorothy and Blanche and our adoption process, call Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center at 301-600-1546.
Summer is just around the corner, and Frederick County Parks and Recreation is looking for team leaders and counselors to help out with the busy summer season full of programs and activities. Watch this video to find out how you can be a part of Parks and Recreation.
We're looking for new, talented applicants to become part of our Parks and Recreation team this summer. Gain experiences and leadership skills in one of our camps as a counselor, assistant director, or director. Or learn the tricks of a trade and other ground maintenance skills from our park staff mentors, all while enjoying the outdoors and seeing what Frederick County Parks have to offer. To view full job details or to apply, visit frederickcountymd.gov/jobs.
Now that spring is officially here, there are plenty of activities going on in the community that you and your family can enjoy. Let's see what activities our county departments are offering. If you would like to find out more about virtual events and programs and activities that are going on in the county, just visit the county's webpage, frederickcountymd.gov. Before we go, I want to remind you that after being open by appointment only because of COVID-19, Frederick County government facilities are now open to walk-in guests. Starting on April 4th, Frederick County will be resuming normal operations. Throughout the pandemic, many county divisions have adjusted the way in which their daily operations have been conducted. Residents have been able to communicate with their local government through the use of online resources, tools, contacts, and virtual programs. Face-to-face meetings with staff were available by appointment. Board meetings have even incorporated live call-in options to provide public comments. Frederick County government will still be offering many of these tools as they resume in-person options. Due to improved COVID statistics in our area, all county-operated buildings and facilities will be once again open for walk-in business. Each department's rules and procedures vary, so be sure to check out the county's website to see if any appointments are necessary or if any specific guidelines need to be observed. Speaking of reestablishing full operations to the public, the County Council met on March 22nd during their weekly Tuesday meeting and discussed when the public will be allowed to participate in person during the County Council meetings. The Council made the final decision that starting on April 5th, the public will be allowed to participate in the first floor hearing room. All guests coming into Winchester Hall should follow the rules of recommended mask usage and respecting social distancing. The Council also decided that the first rows in the hearing room will be designated to county staff members, applicants, and the media. The Council's public hearing on April 5th will be on the Police Accountability Board. Well, that's the end of this episode of County Perspective. Before the show is over, don't forget to follow Frederick County on social media in order to keep up to date on important news and events. We'll see you next time for a fresh look from a county perspective.